Hive Mind Network Online, Channel 0093. Secure uplink initiated.
And also known as Battling You. And I'm here for this week's Twitch with Codex.
Hello.
And we're gonna discuss some things, a little bit of new things, and a lot of things that also happened not too long ago, like this weekend, for instance. And just like saying quickly, if we don't have that many things to show, is that it's because we were really working hard on making the Academy really cool and to release it as soon as possible. That's really our main goal right now. So that's I'm gonna probably show some little new stuff from the Academy, and that's pretty much gonna be it. And so that's for this week. And just for starters, like I said, we're gonna talk also about what just happened not too long ago. And this weekend we were at Comic-Con in Montreal, and it was actually really cool. I think we gained some new fans there because after the con, people added more people were added on Discord. So and I think some of them said that they were from Comic-Con, so that's pretty cool. It went really well, and I did some interviews also for their Twitch, and I don't know.
You did very well from what I can tell.
Yeah, thank you. And but it's in French, so for all you non-French speakers, maybe it's not that interesting for you. But if you can understand French enough so that you can follow this interview, you can find it on the internet. It's called Indie Game Zone from Loto Quebec.
I'll find a link and I'll share it in our Discord.
Yeah, that would be cool because like there's a lot of videos and they're like 5 hours because we're not the only indie company. There's like a whole bunch of them. So yeah, it would be like trying to find like a needle in a boot. It's
worse than a haystack, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Or a very really huge boot. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention. So and I think that we're probably gonna be headed for other like festivals or cons in other countries. I can't like say which one of them yet.
Obviously.
But probably you'll hear us from if you're like in the States, probably you'll be able to see us eventually if you haven't already. So that's pretty much it for what just happened. And like I said, our current state is we're really working toward like making the Academy full thing available to the public. There's a lot of things that we need to work on, like finishing the actual Academy. We also want to reward the agent profile right there, and I would have loved to have the new sketches ready to show them to show you, but they're sadly not ready yet. But it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna have we're planning to have a full and 3D perspective on this section. So what we want to do is that, and you would enter some sort of a like commanding room, like it would be like your agent room, and you would have like your thing, like you would have a wall with your badge, your avatar, and all your things. And on the left,
basically just like my real room.
Exactly. And on the right, you will have all your items, all of this that we have right there. But it's gonna be a bit different. We're planning to have a lot of new cool stuff, like the intelligence section. It's gonna be a lot different. Like it's not gonna be those items right there. They'll be there, but they would be in other menu. Your intel will be a whole new thing. There's a lot of surprises in that, and there's a lot of things to develop. So I can't say for sure. I can't spoil all the fun. But we have a lot of cool ideas for this section, and because we're really like the more we're advancing, more we're close to release. So you're gonna see a lot of big assets being added to the game, and So, and all I'm showing right now, it's mainly work in progress. It's not added completely, and for for those of you who already saw the academy, that's the state we're at right now for the kind of mission center of the academy. And I was trying to put like the icon on the middle of the triangle, but I'm not too sure if we're gonna keep it because it's hard to align depending on which triangle you're on, and like depending on the perspective, they can get like pretty much everywhere if they're not always looking on the top. So like I'm trying to like figure out how to do that, but that's really work in progress. I don't know if we'll have this icon on the middle or not.
Yeah, we don't have a planned date for release for the Academy, but we're hoping to have it for you guys, sooner rather than later, at least to look at.
Exactly.
The content that's going in it is still being, written.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the content we're doing. Like I have like certification here, but it's not like a true certification because we tried a couple of ones. We tried to like find a balance of a newcomer into the game. What we want their first behavior to be. What we want their first actions to be in the game. And we made like a demo certification. So that's the state of when you enter a certification right now. I'd say that right now it's pretty stiff, as if you enter right now and there's a lot of information. You don't know where to look. It's all text. And what we're planning to do is that things appear more gradually. So you'll have your things on the right. Like let's say this is like your intro to the certification, like the intro of a theater in the mission center. And once that's done, and the guys stop talking, on the left, those description and primary objective will appear, and the button start training will appear. And it's already working. I can kind of do a certification right now. Like this is too linear for us. Like or my objectives are too simple, so that's like, you know, open menus. I don't like we
You
test.
did it. You opened the menu.
Yeah,
Congrats.
exactly. We tested it and we're like, well, that's not super fun, you know.
But you can see in the Academy, it will actually link you to real life references and
Exactly. Yeah,
it'll.
you can click on it and
Oh, look.
it opens a window, and like you can't see my other screen, but it really opens your browser. So we will have like a little warning. The first time you're clicking on it, you'll have a warning like you're about to like, you know, open your browser. So you're not like, hey, what happened? So that's one of the
It'd be pretty scary if you didn't know it was going to happen, I guess.
yeah, exactly. We were just like opening, you know, some of the research we made. So it's basically like mostly like Wikipedia pages or articles from, let's say, Time magazine. So it's just, you know, some cool lore if people really want to dig into the information they're looking at. Uh, so I have this second thing open, other stuff. So I need to
Other stuff.
yeah, exactly. You know, it's really like opening menus, and I don't know if it's gonna be in the final version. It's really like maybe too basic. And for people, I know that maybe some people are thinking that we're really aiming toward new player. Uh, well, and it's really because well, we're like structuring the whole game, so we're taking it from the start, and we're gonna progress from there, because we already have a lot of features and a lot of things that we can use from middle to end game. But at the start, there's really no introduction, so that's why like we made all the contents or most of it, and then we go back to the start to like have a structure, have a real introduction to the game. So I have to activate this. Ooh. Like it's maybe we would have like I don't know. Maybe we would have a mission that's opening all the menus.
Open all the menus. Prove
Yeah.
you're a true hacker.
Exactly. And
Only real hackers can open menus.
exactly. So that's like it's all work in progress. That's for sure.
Yeah, obviously.
And
Not that the work that's been done isn't awesome. It's great.
yeah, like the visuals are really cool. We're getting there, and it's only like mostly being able to fit content, and like I couldn't show it because I already like opened all the things before, but when you first enter the academy, well, like the first time you enter there, you have Dylan speaking, explaining to you like the
Is it Dylan or is it like similar to a Dylan?
I can't say for now. If it's gonna be Dylan,
Dylan Reprise could be interesting.
yeah. Well, I think that, it's been our wingman since like first time we
Well,
had
he's
a
the only
wingman.
wingman we've done.
Exactly. So I think that it's gonna be him. I can't say. Maybe
Can neither confirm nor deny, but
yeah, it's I'd say it's high probability. So, and if it's not Dylan, it would be like someone close to him. Like we just want to have like some kind of wingman.
yeah, so I'm gonna sort of show you the ropes,
Exactly.
so you're not
So
totally
and
lost.
that's already there. So like we like really take Dylan or whatever wingman we have. We take the wingman out of the mission. So there's gonna be someone explaining stuff to you whenever there's a new thing in front of you, not necessarily in a mission or whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's in the academy, and that's where you learn.
Exactly.
So
So that's one thing. And my last certification, I just want to show the cool badge. So I have to open a terminal. I have to
Oh
drag a
boy.
window.
that's hard.
Yeah, I have to drag a window, and then I open fingerprint, and then I drag. Oh, I have to type help, and then I have to close both windows. Oh, and that's a little bug we had that like.
Still a work in progress.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
easy on him.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a help command.
Yes.
Believe it or not. I don't know if most people use it.
More than you think, but I think actually the like at the con, let's say, if I can give some examples, we had a booth that people could try Team Forward for the first time, and
Which is cool.
and there's a lot of people that have let's say a little knowledge about like terminals that instinctively type help. Like
That's how they would understand how to use things. It's smart though.
well, it's how like I would that's like from my knowledge. It's basically like you enter a terminal that you don't know. You type help to see the commands.
Like, I don't know this terminal, so I will type help.
Exactly. That's basically
fair.
how it works, and that's what people did, and and even so, people could get lost if if they weren't like familiar with that. So that's why the academy will come in handy, because sometimes even the help command or wingman is not enough, because we still have like our own content, we have our own structure, I would say, our own field to hacking, even though we have like real life reference. So we need people to get used of how like the modules can be used. Like the academy will really bring people's attention to like what's the module, how can it be used, and then on the missions, and then we'll be able to have more complex scenarios that people would be left on their own, and they'll be able to be more immersed without like asking themselves, okay, what are my modules doing? Exactly. What am I doing here? So that's pretty much it for and you can replay your certification if you like. I don't feel like I did a good job. So that's a thing. I don't know if we'll have like if we'll be able to replay missions in the mission center, but you can definitely replay certification if like someone did it for you, or you know.
Mhm.
And like we want to have multiplayer for the academy, but I think for now we're gonna leave it as a single player experience
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
for now. And like I can say that there'll be more, let's say, complex certifications that will have a number of sequence that will look like a similar to a regular mission or a little less. But and those scenarios, well, that would be cool to be able to play in multiplayer, but that's not for now.
It's in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And one other thing I wanted to show is that we have now the network mapping. It's a little work in progress also, but the functionality is there and it's visually there also. So let's say I do a sync scan on Ustream Live. I resetted my data so I could show you guys. So I have all of those info and I have them now in my network mapping. So it's only that I can't do nothing for now. It just saves, oh, you found those subdomains. Now if I, let's say, open fingerprint and do a fingerprint on extranet, and it will give me some vulnerabilities. Okay, so what it does is that it completes my content. So I have nothing else with info and say extranet, but I can do it with, like, let's say, a fingerprint mission life. It would fill out new, like each time you like have a new technology, even if it's not vulnerable, it gets added to your network mapping. So that way you always have, like, you don't have to go and search for like your technology every time, or search for your ports every time. Even though we've like added that functionality to Fox Acid, that now when you get when you Fox Acid a vulnerable, when you fingerprint a vulnerable technology, it gets added to your Fox Acid, I'd say, inventory. It's still cool to have a place that you can have like your network mappings.
Mhm.
So that's one other thing I want to show you guys, which is, it's like it's a basic mapping visual. It's more I think I forgot to change the name there, but it's supposed to be domain mapping actually. And for real network mapping, we'll have like a separated module. I think I said that last week, but we want to really separate like a domain mapping, which is just like you have your domains and their vulnerabilities and such, and a real network mapping of a whole network. That would be cool to have in a separate module. But yeah, definitely we'll change that name to domain mapping.
But so far, it's pretty cool. It'll definitely be useful.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, we're just adding more ways to like keep your content, keep your lore, keep your because there's a lot of content that you tend to like lose, I'd say, like,
Mhm.
and
That's fair.
so we're really trying to have that back. You to have that content back and keep it in a place that you can always go back to look at. That's why you can still go back in your older missions, even though you finish them, just to see like the things you have in your case file. And in the new agent profile, we plan to have we would like at least to have a lore section that you'll have, let's say, all those, most of your dialogues and most of your story things or information things about like modules or such. That would be in your like codex section in your agent profile. So that's like pretty cool, since like when Dylan's talking, you lose like that info. It would be cool for like a place that you can have your dialogues if like let's say NPC talks, or if I don't know, like if Faye would say something important and that would not be repeated. It's always cool to be able to read it. I think it would be cool to have like a script that you can look at if you didn't heard what Dylan or whoever talks said.
Yeah. And I know that's something that people have asked about.
So that's pretty much it for now. And the more I look into that, and I'm not so much sure about like those.
What now?
I'm so much sure about like those
the
icons.
triangles?
Well, the icon in the middle of the triangle, since it's hard to like have them looking at like a way. Like the problem is that this one, like if I have like this triangle,
Mm-hmm.
it would look like at one of those 3 points, and it would be like on its rotation would be a little like on the side. So I'm trying to have like a cool way to showing it, but I haven't found it yet. If it's not cool enough, we'll just remove it.
Rule of cool. Very important.
Exactly. Or one of the things I could do is that there's like that white-ish contour. What could be cool is to have like the skin color when you completed like the your certification. So at least you have like a feel of progression. So you have like your planet is like covered in skin color. So that's one of the ideas that we had for like how to make it cool. So when you completed training, you have this little icon, and you have your background. What we're gonna do is that icon is gonna be actually white, and the background of this button will be the icon color. So yeah, I think it makes sense that the triangle as the triangle background gets like the skin color, because that button will have skin color. I'm thinking out loud with you guys, but
He does this a lot. It's not a big deal.
yeah, exactly. So it's like it's
Development process.
exactly. When you're so into code and you like look at it and you're like, well,
Well, actually,
that's why we do those. Twitch
play
is
tests and stuff.
to show you guys like how we process, how we manage stuff, and to have your
Yeah.
input on like at real time. It's one of the ways we have to have your intention and be able to progress this game with you. And another thing on the right, this section included training. It's probably gonna be removed because that's that doesn't say a lot. It's like not really like hiking suit doesn't mean nothing, and the rewards don't mean anything either. And but I think we said a lot before, we want to have some sort of progression, so definitely we'll have something like XP or something like that experience, and maybe that would be there, but it will be like 150 Allison Smith logo. So that's pretty much it for now on our side. I don't know if you had anything on your side, Codex.
I don't think so. I just sort of give people a heads up that we're gonna try to do a little bit more variety stuff in the stream, like you and I had sort of talked about with Matthew, Patrice.
Oh yeah.
So we've got some ideas of like different things to include in the stream, and we're sort of working through what would be coolest. So streams are gonna have some cool stuff in them, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what I can say for streams is that for now, most of the times we talk about the new things we made for this week and pretty much what happened in this current week. But we're planning to have like a real let's say planification of what we're gonna say each stream, and how like maybe someone
something like on top of the usual. Here's what we worked on this week.
yeah, exactly. I think there's always gonna be that, especially if we have cool stuff to show, and we've not made an update in a long time as right now. But on top of that,
but on weeks when they're like most of the changes have been behind the scenes, we're working on other stuff we can sort of show you to give you an idea of sort of what the game is about, what the development process is like sort of get in the head of the team a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would like, let's say, to have like a session with like your UI artist, and we will be like say 2 or 3 have a discussion, and we'll have a lot of sketches and a lot of like like a view into the early sketches of the UI that we made. There's a lot of stuff that you guys haven't seen yet, like the, let's say, I have like 4 or 5 different versions of the password attack, and of how it looked visually, and it would be cool to just know that, oh okay, it looked like that before, oh okay, it looked like this, and
it's cool stuff that we'd like to share with you, just as sort of just because we like to share things with you, I guess.
Exactly. And we don't want to like run out of things to show you either, so that's why like if we don't have like that many things to show, it's because we're working hard to have a lot of new things to show. But I would say that like by the following weeks, it's gonna be a lot academy oriented, trying to like have a lot of content. So I don't know if there'll be that many visuals, but what we'll try to do, so like I said, maybe a session of UI. I know I did a little UI talk.
Yeah,
about,
we
like,
were mostly just looking at sketches that had been published and talking about it ourselves, but it would be great to have our actual UI artist
on the talks. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we could invite her.
If we can convince them.
Exactly, and I can like, I know that there's some like, sketches or little images of like early modules that we never released because like we changed them. Let's say one of the example was the password attack. I know there's a couple of early sketches that like the first draft, so it's interesting to know like how a module evolved even like before it was out, and like yeah, that's pretty much it for this week, and those are what we aim to do for the following Twitches. Let's hope we'll be able to do it starting next week, but it will happen soon enough, don't worry.
Yeah, the next couple of weeks are a little bit crazy for me. I don't know about for you.
Oh yeah, they're really crazy. Well, like I said, it's a lot of work on the academy. There's still a lot of stuff to be done, and we don't want to be late on the schedule.
Yep.
So if there's no more questions from you guys, and I would say thanks for being there this week with us, and stay tuned for the following weeks. We'll have definitely new stuff to show you, and new variety, and thanks for following us, thanks for being there since the beginning, and have a good weekend. So goodbye.
Bye.
Closing root access. Goodbye.